meetings around our neck of the woods up there. I'm going to keep this really short. I have a presentation, but since you guys are already waiting on me, I'm not going to bother putting it in, pulling it up, or anything else. Biggest thing that you guys need to know is that we have adopted new energy codes for the state of Alabama. Commercially, ASHRAE 90.1 2013 took effect on January 1st of this year. We will be amending that to also include the 2015 International Energy Conservation Code. That was actually an error on our part not to have included that pathway in the first place. So we will be correcting that. The Residential Energy Code will become the 2015 International Energy Conservation Code as of October 1st of this year. With amendments, it is not exactly as written. You'll find that with the amendments we've made, it's really not that much different from what you've been doing. Sorry, I was rushing in here and now all of a sudden it's catching up to me and catching my breath. The biggest changes there are we have added an option for using HERS rating or ERI for compliance, and we have added back in equipment efficiency trade-offs, although there are mandatory things that are mandatory regardless of what you trade off. You can't trade off your insulation, you can't trade off your SHGC manufacturers and things like that. And mandatory blower door testing this year, this first time. We have set that at 5 air changes per hour based on the 50 ACH pressure setting. Turns out we're actually already doing that for the most part. We are one of 8 states participating in a Department of Energy field study on residential energy codes. We were the first state to get our data turned in for that, and I'll be honest, I was thinking we'd be about 70% compliant. I figured that was a pretty decent number. We over a few years into our first mandatory energy code. Feel fairly certain there are an awful lot of people at the federal level and at the state level who thought I was being really optimistic. They were expecting 40 to 50% on the high end. So when I got a phone call that said, so we might have a problem going forward with this study, because the way it's set up, you do the field study on the front end, do the data, spend a year and a half doing some training and education and outreach, and then they're going to do a back-end study as well. You have to have room to improve, obviously, or there's no point in doing the education. So when we got that phone call and said, there may be a little problem going forward with this project, so what's that? You guys are already over 90% compliant with the current energy code. I may have giggled a little bit. Then actually maybe kind of sat on the floor and giggled a lot about that. Because it was not what DOE was expecting by any stretch of the imagination. So that's something for us to be really proud of. The other 8 states, most of them have gotten their data in. They're still waiting on final numbers. As of right now, I think we actually still have the highest compliance rate of those 8 states. So that is something to be very proud of. That is based on our code that we had adopted in 2009. We had them run a cost analysis on what we've adopted as the 2015 code. So they were able to justify going forward with that project because there is, obviously, if you increase the code, there's room for improvement there. But we based a lot of the numbers, the 5 air changes per hour and things like that, on what we're already doing. Even without mandatory blower door testing in the state, we were, I believe, at, I don't have those numbers in front of me, more than 60% of the houses that were tested for tightness. Even without that requirement, we're already meeting that 5 air changes per hour. So it's something that's already happening. And in fact, what we've learned is the bigger need for that is on the backside of that. It's not to make sure you're getting it tight enough, it's making sure that we have the ventilation in place, and those things, we're getting it really tight. And in our climate zone, that's not necessarily a good thing if you don't have the right ventilation in place and things like that. You set up mold, mildew, other issues like that. So now that blower door testing has become an even better, even more important requirement, because builders and contractors and you guys, y'all doing your jobs a little too well. So we have to make sure we're not going a little bit too far with that. Basically, those are the biggest changes that we have. Other than that, it's not huge. We will be adopting the 2015 International Residential Building Code, also to be effective October 1st. We had to make some changes after that was published, and then we had to reschedule a board meeting, so that is not officially adopted yet. We do not anticipate any. We've already published it, received no comments from the public on that, no concerns with that. Once we fixed what was the first problem that we had to fix in the first place, and we expect that to be no issues there. So that's the really short version. Since you guys have already been waiting on me for a while, I apologize again. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to give you guys my card. We're there as a resource for you guys. That's what we want to do, aside from, vetting the codes and finding things that make sense. We're probably not ever going to adopt the model code as written, because there's a lot of things in there that just don't make sense for us. For instance, in the 2015 model code, there was an insulation requirement that would have required going to 2x6 framing. That's not a cost-effective option here in Alabama, because what you save, your return on investment in that's over 100 years. That's a really hard sell. It's really hard for a builder or a contractor or anybody else to justify that, because you can't tell your homeowner, oh, well, 110 years from now, you'll have made your money back on that. That wouldn't sell me anything. So we look at those things. It's all well and good to have a great energy code, have a great building code, but if it costs you out of business, it's counterproductive, and we don't want to do that. We want to be able to utilize these codes for health, for safety, and to help you guys make your products and your businesses stronger. So you can tell your customers, we know we're doing this the right way. Here's our guarantee that we know we're doing this the right way. We're a partner for you guys. We don't want to be somebody that you guys look at and go, crap, here comes that other person again. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be that board. We don't want to be that entity or that agency. We want to be a partner for y'all, to work with you, to help you, to provide resources. If there's something you're not sure about, if there's something that doesn't make sense, I probably do not know the answer to that question, but I can find someone who does.